Look! It just came out! Look at that!
I love it!
And we're back again for another exciting episode of After Hours. And guys, I just got word that our good friend Dave Pucinella was taken out of his house on a stretcher in an ambulance.
No.
Yeah.
Not another one.
Greg doesn't know anything about
He
that?
said, according to the Post, he said...
I know Dave. I don't know what happened.
Dave was saying that he warned his clients. He said, clients waiting for a nutrition plan, I'm letting you know I'll be in the hospital all week, which is terrible. He got taken out. I guess he passed out in his house. They must have called an ambulance, and now they're doing testing on him. This was a day ago. So
Did he take the vaccine?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Shit.
That seems to be the question. Every time someone gets sick, everyone's like, did you take the vaccine? My question is, do you have COVID? I mean, it could be just COVID. Who knows? But
The vaccine's worse.
Yeah.
Jeez, Dave, you're always talking politics. Me and John have been trying to shut you up before the show.
I had to have a talk with these guys before the show.
You keep telling us how great Trump was, why we got rid of him, we don't know, and all this shit. We agree.
Greg, he's going to cut you off.
We should
I'm
take
making
that
a joke.
part.
I want to hear about. Here's what I want to. I hope Pucinella pulls through. Everything's okay.
Yeah.
I think the important thing here is the fight with Rick's fight, not the loser fight.
Who's Ricky
Why
fighting?
did you talk about Jake Paul?
No, Georgie, what's going on? Update us.
Rick is fighting a guy. Rick is fighting down in Louisiana. He's fought this guy twice. They won. Rick won. This is the third and deciding match to who's really the ultimate champ.
Are you going down there?
Yeah.
Well, right now they better be fighting in canoes and shit because it's pretty bad down there.
Dave,
What?
he asked us to go, and he's been doing all this stuff, so we have to,
Are you and Jimmy going?
Yeah, I'm going, and then Jimmy. Yeah, we gotta go.
Jimmy will never show up.
Whoa. Did Jimmy say he was going?
Yes.
That doesn't mean anything.
Jimmy gave his word.
He won't go.
Hold on.
He won't go.
Yes. Why?
Jimmy doesn't cross Linden Avenue,
Yeah.
right?
Rick is gonna have us walk him out.
George, you remember when you trained my dad in the gym?
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
You did a great job, by the way, with my father.
You did.
Now, pretend that Jimmy's my dad, okay? Except only maybe 20 years a little earlier than my father, when you trained my father. So you're dealing with my dad, basically, okay? So how hard would it have been to get my dad to go to Louisiana? You'd have to go pick him up and actually drive him there, probably,
Well,
right?
I'd hang out. He'd have
with a bottle of wine. You'd have to show up at his house with a bottle of wine.
And convince him you were going to Spain.
Yeah.
Your bottle of wine might get him out of there.
No, you're right. You get the bottle of wine and you tell him we're going to Montauk. And just don't even tell him. And then just drive to Louisiana. That's the only way you're going to get Jimmy there.
But not one of those regular bottles of wine. It's got to be the giant one.
Boone's Farm.
And give Jimmy tell Jimmy to bring his guitar so he can play guitar the whole time.
Bring his guitar, bro. Tell him to play
It's like giving my kid an iPhone in the car to keep him distracted so we can drive and not have him complain or anything.
Bring a piano.
Hey, your dad's strength increased by 1,000%.
Yeah.
Like, from 10 times from what it was. And when he fell 6 months later, he didn't get hurt. I mean, he was walking down the front stoop of your house in East Meadow.
Yeah.
That's all cement. And he had one hand with a glass of wine, the other hand with a book. And he fell. And I told him when we were doing presses like this, I go, this is if you ever fall, Sal, you're going to be able to brace yourself. And sure as shit, he braced himself, he rolled, and the only thing that happened was he broke his toe.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So many things happen with us guys.
I know.
Throughout the years, we've done so much stuff that it's impossible to remember all the stories, you know?
Yeah. You know, another person we got to send out some prayers to is Melissa Detweiler, who's not Melissa Detweiler anymore, but that's how we know her in the industry. She had, breast cancer. She just had surgery.
Oh shit! Really, Melissa?
Okay.
Well, I think one of the margins wasn't too clear. I don't know if they're going to do more chemo on her. She has, she shaved her head. she's got a young daughter she's taking care of too. So.
What the fuck's going on with this sport, man? All of a sudden,
Well,
Jesus.
A lot of women get breast cancer.
Greg, that's like, it's like, what are we never? Are bodybuilders like immune to everything? Death, disease? I mean, look at bowlers. You want to talk about how many bowlers die every fucking day?
No. I'm just saying. That Mendenhall thing really fucking.
Did Mendenhall ever stay at your house, Greg? Because I figured everyone stayed at your house before, right?
No, Mendenhall did not. I knew Mendenhall.
Mendenhall was a Grushkin guy,
Yeah, Mendenhall. I knew Mendenhall through Bonham, Bob Bonham.
Oh,
that's how when I met him the first time.
I used to see him every single afternoon.
He's a freak. He had such a he had like a tiny waist. You know what I mean? Like, and these unbelievable wide lats and those legs, sweeps on the legs.
But he was a nice guy, though. That's the whole thing. Like Phil Hernan, a nice guy, bro. I used to talk to Phil. He had called me not too long ago, and I missed his call, and I feel really fucking shitty about it now.
Well, I had reached out to Matt Mendenhall, and I had said, I want to get you on the TV show because I really had never interviewed him before, and I really wasn't friends with him. I didn't know him because he was like kind of right before I got into the bodybuilding world. And he kept saying to me, I thought he was blowing me off, but he kept saying, Dave, I'm going to come on the show, but I'm not ready. I'm dealing with some stuff. He had fallen. Was supposedly, according to Rachel, McLeish, who dated him back in the day, he was very accident prone. And he had fallen and hurt himself and really injured his back pretty bad. I don't know if he fell off a ladder. And he got a 23 level spinal fusion with rods in his spine. And supposedly he was in a lot of pain chronically, and it was not going away. And now I don't know how that led to his death or if it had anything to do with it, but kind of Rachel on her Facebook kind of insinuated that might have been an issue and something that might have happened to him. So
the fall? You're saying the fall?
The pain level that he was living in after the surgery, I think.
In other words,
remember, he was a chiropractic.
He was taking painkillers and shit?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
So he had no wife, no kids. He couldn't work anymore. He had all this time on his hands. He's in excruciating pain. He had a lot of money.
Yeah.
So the pain pills were probably something that were easily accessible to him, and that he had nobody there telling him no.
Probably contributed to his death.
We don't know what the cause of death was.
It's all speculation.
But he also had a construction company for a while.
I don't mean the pill.
Well, he was a chiropractor, Greg, and he really loved it, from what I understand.
No, I know he's a chiropractor, but I'm saying a while back, remember he was doing construction with his brother. Him and his brother had a construction company.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
It's all speculation, but man, you put yourself in that position. You live, you don't have that tight family around you, wife, kids, dog, whatever. And you're incredible pain. You can't do what you love. You can't train. You can't be a chiropractor. You can't do anything. I mean, I could see people getting very, very depressed.
I mean, Billy Smith was in a very similar situation, John.
What's that?
Billy Smith was in a very similar situation with the knees that he had replaced, that he was having problems with.
And they have to find something else. What they need is that, like the veterans,
Well, that's because they take a drug for every process.
Right, and it fucks their brains up.
I agree with you, Georgie.
I agree. Got guys who are paralyzed that live full lives. So what happens is they're still living in the past. They need to give them a new aim, something new for them to do, a new mission. They could. I
agree with you.
They didn't have the right people around them. I mean,
plus, what you're saying too, they take a fucking pillow for every function in their body. After a while, you get used to that. So when you got bad pain, oh fuck, give me painkillers. Let me give it one of those and one of those, because a bodybuilder does everything in excess. You know what I'm saying? So the numbers. Plus, not for nothing, a lot of these guys party really bad. I mean, I've been Sound Factory, John. I've been with you. You know the story down there. Those fucking guys were lit. A lot of those guys were on a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Head shit, I'm talking
about. That's what Dan Duchesne used to always say. If you do drugs, then you do drugs.
Right.
There's no moral crossover between performance enhancement and recreation. If your mindset is drugs are okay, then drugs are okay. So that's why bodybuilders You
And
see them in
we do
clubs,
excess.
jacked out of their fucking minds. It's because it's okay.
We do
That's why the guys who
excess.
sell
I mean,
steroids.
and everybody
Sell
fucking
everything
does
else.
large amounts of that shit.
Greg, if one is good, how many's 10? Better.
Even better. And
Yeah.
then, why aren't you doing 12, you fucking Momo?
I got a great phone. I want to hold on. I want to change. I want to talk about Billy Smith in a second because obviously we lost him as well. And this guy Jeff, who's from Montana, I guess was a Billy Smith disciple. You know, Billy Smith had that Intrafit, company. By the way, John, he was, according to this guy Jeff, who was, I think, the only guy actually accredited by Intrafit. He was the only guy to pass the test because he said that Billy Smith made the test so difficult that no one could pass it. It was open book.
You could pass the bar easier than you could pass the
He
test.
said when he went, Billy Smith said, "Don't worry, it's open book. It's multiple choice." He said when he opened the first question, it was the whole alphabet. It was A B C D E F G H. There was like 24 choices for each thing. He goes, you couldn't possibly look it up. There was no Google. There was no nothing back then. He said no one. I said to Billy, I know I'm the only person who passed the test, and I got my certificate and everything like that, and my little thing you sent me. But I said, you're never going to sell this course if no one can pass it. He loved the idea that no one could pass it.
But and the poor clients. I mean, I told him when we were on with Chris, we nicknamed it not Intrafit but Intricate, and because I remember him sitting there talking to like just a regular girl, soccer mom, type person, and he's walking her down the pyruvate pathway towards the Krebs cycle, right? and she's like. But I just want to lose some weight,
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, but I heard if you made fun of, like, if you mispronounced Intrafit and you said Interfit or something like that, or even intricate, he'd go crazy like on you too, right?
Sounds like he was a very intelligent guy.
Dude, I used to hang out with his training partner.
Very intelligent.
His training partner, Tommy Barr, the craziest motherfucker you ever met. Crazy made Billy Smith look fucking sane.
Really?
Wasn't he roommates with Jeff King for a while?
For a little, yeah. I think when Jeff was in school.
Yeah, but Jeff King and him are fucking total opposites. You ever talk to Jeff King? Jeff King is a very a clean cut, almost like a nerdy type guy.
Conservative guy, yeah, very conservative.
Yeah, very good conservative.
How did Billy Smith
die?
die?
That's political. You better not use that word.
How did Smith die? Do we know how Billy Smith died?
Yes.
John does.
We don't know the exact cause, but he had been in the hospital for more complications with his knee replacement that he had over a year ago, and he had been in for a month, and they feel like they had him ready to go, and he was getting discharged. He was actually discharged. He was waiting to leave, and he passed away sitting on the edge of his bed. We don't know if it was they're either saying stroke, embolism,
That's when my grandfather died.
Or whatever.
A lot of times when you have an infection, if the infectious material breaks off, even if there's no bacteria left in it, it's just a piece of material and it goes to your lungs, you get a pulmonary embolism and that's it, you're dead.
Well, what about Phil Hernon though? What killed? I mean, we all know. I know
he
Phil
refused. He refused to take dialysis. I talked to a guy who was on the phone with him when he died.
Is that what it is?
I think he was getting a little goofy brained from all the
No,
toxins.
but I mean I know that he was waiting on for a kidney transplant. I know all that, but he seemed like, dude, I feel so guilty. He called me literally a couple weeks ago, and I did not answer the phone. Excuse me, and. You feel guilty, like you feel like, what the fuck did he want to talk to you about? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but it just bothers me. Like, I feel so bad. He even texted me.
Phil was a very smart guy, too, and he was he wasn't making sense when I was texting with him, like, recently, so something was going on organically in his brain. I don't know if it was, like I said.
He's very smart kid.
People don't realize when you have very high creatinine levels, you could be on dialysis or not. I mean, you're still going to have high creatinine, because when you get dialysis, you're good for that day. By the next day, you're high already, until you go back for the next treatment. So your brain doesn't function well when there's a lot of creatinine and waste product in your bloodstream.
Plus, he was against a lot of all that shit. I could see him turning down dialysis. he had his own thoughts about stuff.
Well,
you know,
I mean, if
'cause
you
he
can
was
get a
so
kidney
smart.
transplant, you probably want to stay on dialysis till you get the kidney transplant. I mean, that's.
But he was a smart guy. I think he thought he could figure out different ways. You know what I mean?
I don't think he was thinking clear-headed at the end. Yeah.
I
He
agree.
might have been
I would-
fucking around too with stuff before, because I remember him training even like to a year and a half ago or so, and he, you know,
Remember, he
I
tore,
don't know.
he tore both quads too, like a year or two ago.
I remember.
Yeah.
Then he got the Bell's fucking palsy too.
Yeah.
So he was heavily bodybuilding then, it sounds like. If you're saying he tore his quads.
Well,
Yeah,
he was
Georgie,
training. Phil was a genetic freak, you know. He could.
Oh my God, yeah.
He could do 225 and grow quads, you know, with that. But he just.
But he was telling me he was going fucking blind.
Oh, really?
That's what he told me.
I don't know. He had a lot of problems, unfortunately.
It seems like these guys, after they compete, they should focus on getting super fucking fit. Like in
Yes.
like,
But Georgie, sometimes it's the luck of the draw. I don't think I have seen any one person in our industry with as much bad luck towards his health as Phil.
Yeah, he had a lot of bad stuff going on.
But I think he
Very
created
bad.
a lot of that, John. I agree with George.
That could be true, but overall, just bad
John,
luck,
just what
man.
you said before, though. You were right, John. You hit the nail on the head, and I think George is right. He should have concentrated. But you said when your drugs are good, drugs are good. You know what I mean? And I believe a lot of these guys think that, fuck, I know more than my doctor. I could, let me tell you, if I start taking a little bit of this and a little bit of that, because this ups my enzymes for that, and this, and they start self-medicating.
You're right.
He
You're right.
did a little bit of that. I could say that for a fact.
You're right. You know why? Because let's look at John Meadows. Nicest guy you'll know. I mean, smart guy, very
Another good
intelligent,
guy.
but bodybuilding also didn't help, you know, his situation. He had a clotting problem. He knew it. You know, he lost his colon, you know, but he loved bodybuilding. He wanted to do bodybuilding more than anything. And I respect that. You know, he was willing to lay it on the line, you know, in as healthy a manner as possible. But let's face it, I mean, a lot of people would have just stopped. Mike Francois lost his colon. That was it. No more. And Mike's, you know, doing really well and alive today. So, you know, you do, like Greg said, you're pushing the limit when you say, hey, you know, I want to be 300 pounds or 280, you know, even though I have a problem that I know is something that might rear its head at some point, you know. So
Dave, that's why you're not 3 fucking 20,
no,
right?
of course not, because I want to live, you know, and I have young
Right,
kids
that's
and everything.
exact-
I don't care if
You
people
knew
think I'm not big anymore. It doesn't matter to me. I'd rather be alive, you know.
well,
Right.
don't you feel better now, Dave?
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
If you think about
Plus,
how
Dave,
you
if you wanted to be
training.
300 again, you could. Am I right or wrong?
Well, I don't know about 300, but I could definitely be a lot bigger if I wanted to. You'll see. I mean, I'm going to the
saying,
gym
you
now. Now that my daughter's in school, I'll put a little size back on. Just, you know, I don't need a lot of size, but I'll put, you know, 10 pounds on just because I'll be in the gym training again. So, you know, everything's about balance. And as you get older, your body is just not as resilient. And to think
I
that
agree.
you can overcome that with drugs and supplements and diet is you're being retarded thinking about that, because you can't beat Father Time. He's undefeated. So knowing that the body is not as resilient as you get older, to continue to do the same things that you did when you were younger, you're asking for trouble in a sense.
Dave,
100%.
I tell everybody, my mantra is, there's no 300-pound 80-year-olds
I
walking around.
fucking I say that every day,
I
bro.
say it all the time.
Yeah.
Billy was what, 280, 290?
Yeah.
You know, Phil was big, Meadows was big.
still they were still that big, John?
He was huge.
When
So,
he
I
just-
mean, these guys got this in their head that they're invincible forever. And until you believe that that's not true, and that once you get, you know, I arbitrarily, I said 50, but I guess I waited till I was 55 to really tone it down. Dave, you toned it down.
Yeah.
Greg, you did. Georgie, you
Oh,
did.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
none of us are walking around with the 40, 50, 80, 100 pounds of muscle that we used to have. You got to tone it down or you're going to die.
That, John, I tell
And we
everybody.
might die anyway. That's the same. I mean,
In my
I
lifetime-
know, but you got to give yourself the best
Right.
shot, right?
Bro,
right.
in my lifetime, I've never seen a jacked 80-year-old. I've seen
Never.
built 80-year-olds. I've seen a few 80-year-olds that are pretty muscular, like the Jacqueline type muscle,
Yeah.
but not no fucking jacked 20-inch arm 80-year-old. And if any of you guys out there think that you're going to be the one, you're out of your fucking mind.
Right.
We'll be talking about you too.
Speaking of which,
look
I
at
know we
Louis.
mentioned on Heavy Muscle Radio, I don't know if I told Greg at all, but you know, Leon Brown's in the hospital with liver cancer. I don't know if you knew that, Greg.
Oh fuck! No, I didn't know that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, he had some
How-
surgery
how
or
old
something
is
yesterday.
Leon?
And you know, I'm really close with
No,
Leon.
I know you are. Yeah, you might want to call his cell phone. I think his girlfriend will answer it. You know,
That's what I'm worried about. No, shit. I just saw
Leon's
him
about
about 6
8.
months
Isn't
ago.
Leon 80?
Fuck.
Leon, but you know what? Leon was Leon's been a drinker for many years. He'll tell you. he
Oh
was,
my
you know,
God.
so
I don't want to say, I don't
liver
wanna say
cancer, can be caused by drinking. So I mean,
I don't want to say anything.
the sins of our past can rear up.
Well, I was with him in a gym when he was 64. That was like more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He was doing like chest. And dude, he still looked really good, right? His chest is out there. And he said to me, "Oh my God, this is my 4th day in a row. I'm training chest." And I said, "Wait, what?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Sometimes I go on these spins where I'll train each body part every single day." And yet he still looks fucking good because he has that mindset. Remember, with Schwarzenegger and all those guys trained, they used to train each body part like 3 times a week.
I know.
Yeah.
They didn't do the shit
for
these
like
guys
9
did.
hours, and for like 9 hours straight.
Yeah, right. Remember the old story about fucking Arnold? He go in the fucking gym. He was doing biceps with Sergio Oliva one time, and he did like 50, 60 sets. And at the end of the workout, Sergio goes, "Listen, I gotta go. I'm gonna take a shower and everything." Arnold goes, yeah, I'll see you in there." He goes, "I got another 10 sets to do." You know what I mean? They were fucking maniacs back then.
I used to see these guys because I worked construction in Venice. I was all over the place. I used to see them in the gym in the morning, right? And then they would be there from early in the morning till lunchtime. Then they go eat, go take a nap on the beach, and then they go back. So the entire day was like, 3-4 hours in the morning, a little break, a little sun, something to eat, come back, another 3-4 hours in the afternoon.
And John, I tell everybody the same thing. Hey, you know what's funny? How did they eat? Where did they get their money to live? You know what they did?
Oh,
A little fucking, little pose down for some old guy, just got old. You know the story.
Roger Collard told me frequently that they'd be at some millionaires mansion in Beverly Hills or Bel Air or something out by the pool laying around, and then Arnold would disappear into the house with one of the guy, with the owner, and then he'd come back with this big wad of cash.
Dude, oh yeah, you fucking kidding me? What do you think Arnold did? How do you think he made his living and shit? Dude, wait, you talk about Leon Brown. You want to hear a great story? Leon Brown was telling me that they were all in World's Gym one day, and some fucking gay guy comes up to Roger Callard and he goes, "Oh my God, you're like Mr. August." And Roger Callard goes, "Yeah, all right, get out of here. Come on. And the guy goes, "No, you're Mr. August," in like, one of them gay magazines, like fucking, whatever the name of them are. And Roger Callard's like, "Dude, get the fuck out of here." So the guy goes, like he's freaking out. And he just, he wanted an autograph and all this shit. So they said that Roger Callard walked over when the guy was bench pressing and the guy was talking to somebody. Roger Callard put a little bit more weight on one side than the other. So when the guy went down to do the bench, it all fucking hit him like this and it poured. And the kid was so upset. The next day, the kid came in and he put up the fucking centerfold of Roger Callard on the billboard, on the bulletin board. He fucking tacked it on the bulletin board. And when Roger Callard saw it, he freaked out, went out to his car, grabbed a hammer, and destroyed the whole bulletin board. And Joe Gold told him, "Motherfucker, you ever do that again, you'll never train in a gym again. You go get me a new goddamn bulletin board." Because the gay guy, he scorned the gay guy. The gay guy was just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, you're Mr." And it's true. It's
now, Greg, do you know the name Lacey Rich?
I know that it
I've
sounds
heard you
familiar.
mention
Yes,
it.
I got to dig deep in my brain.
That Lacey Rich was this old gay guy.
Oh yeah. Oh my God! And he died. He had those pictures. Is he the one with the fucking pictures?
In the fax machine.
Yeah, they had all. Oh my God! Supposedly Arnold had somebody fucking go over to get all that shit that he had. Oh yeah.
They killed him.
Really?
Did you believe he killed?
He OD'd on insulin.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they said it. I know all about. Oh my God! They used to say that. Was it Bill Drake? One of them fucking guys. Wage Bennett. they had
Beautiful.
fucking. They said go to Tom Platz when his house.
Finally.
Beautiful.
You
Finally.
know those pictures of Arnold at Joe's house by the pool, and Joe's got the typewriter out, and Arnold's
Yeah.
naked. Arnold's naked. That's the Lacey Rich pictures. There's a whole series. Of
Yeah,
that.
but Arnold was totally naked. There's a
Totally
ton of
naked, and he and whatever else. And Lacey Rich those were in the days, before.
Beautiful.
So he had the fax machine. He faxed everybody. Everybody in the industry had the fax machine was coming up with the pictures of Arnold naked with Joe.
Oh yeah. There was a lot of New York schmoes that had
Yeah,
those
man,
pictures.
they killed them.
You know, all those New York schmoes, they all had those pictures.
Hey, easy with the New York, huh?
Hey, there he is.
You got to take those ape hangers off, bro.
Easy. No fucking way, man. Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you kidding me? You ride with those fucking ape hangers like that?
You fucking, I'm gonna come down by you on these motherfuckers.
Jimmy,
You like my
Jimmy,
whip?
let's see you fire it up, baby.
You know what that whip does? It whacks you in the side of in your fucking side when you're going 60 miles an hour.
What this whip is, in case you encounter an asshole on the fucking road, all right? That wants to get out of his car and go toe to toe with you, right? You just take this little whip here and just pull it down, and it disconnects. And the metal end is that's the end that you whack the motherfucker with. So you hold the whip like this here, okay? And that's the end of the story. That's what happens, okay? So fuck with me, and you're gonna get whipped.
That's a long story short.
I like that.
I want to explain something. Well, this whip was very expensive too because it's all leather. So I want to ask you guys a question while I got you. Because I just got home.
Can you?
I was trying to get my whip on. Take it easy, John. What do you want? Anecdote today?
You're gonna get whipped. John,
Take
you're
it
gonna
easy.
get whipped.
You're gonna get whipped.
You're making me dizzy.
All right, let me get set up here. All right, I bet that. Right, hold on.
Respect.
Look, he's got like
You're supposed to be set up an hour ago.
he's got a whole setup.
I just
there,
got
John.
home You want to see what I just did, John? Here, because I love you guys, I'm going to show you what happened.
Turn
Okay?
your phone sideways.
I fucking came home at fucking 95 miles an hour. Okay? And I parked the fucking trailer in the street. Look, all right? That fucking thing is in front of my house, all right? Because I tried to rush home to be with my brothers, so I had to park that fucking thing in the street, all right? I'm sure my fucking neighbors ain't liking this, all right? But I really don't care right now.
Jimmy, you got small streets too. That must be blocking the other side.
Of course it is. Look.
Yeah, I know.
Look. Look at it. This monstrosity.
That's awesome.
We need some dirt, Jimmy. Drive it down to Florida here. Bring us a couple loads.
Yeah, I could use some too.
So look what happened now. I got to just tell you a quick story. When it rains, my wire on my house, John, I'm telling you because you do a lot of construction. So the main wire on the house was weather beat. Because see that turn up there?
Yep.
So it opened up the wire, and the rain was getting in there, and it was coming down the meter, down the pipe, into my breaker box in the basement. Jeez. So when it rains out, my breaker box fills up with water, right? So this has been going on a long time. So now there's a storm coming from that shit left over from Louisiana coming up here. So I called my electrician friend, and he came today. And look what he did, man. Solid PVC. Everything's. Look at the hood. He put on the brand new hood there.
Yeah. Put a new weather hat on.
See it up there?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. He tied everything in, man. He zip tied all them fucked up wires, man. He did a nice job. He grounded out the system. See with the ground right there?
Yeah.
Too bad you don't own the house.
I hope that works.
I know. I how to do it. Listen.
Jimmy fixes stuff on the houses he doesn't even own.
Listen, do I want the place on fire when I'm sleeping in the middle of the night, Dave? You know what I'm saying? I went out and bought a fire extinguisher. I got it downstairs in the basement.
All right, so give us the story. I've been waiting for 2 weeks to hear the story already.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stories because I had a lot of shit happen, but I just want to talk about the storm. I want to touch base on this for a minute now because this is about the Earth and the Moon and everything in the tide.
Yeah,
okay?
All right, good.
No, come on.
Before he says anything.
Dave, if we can't talk politics, he can't wear a tin hat.
Wait, before he says
I've been watching these UFO shows on Netflix. Have you seen this? The unclassified stuff?
Yeah, I like those.
But Jimmy obviously doesn't believe in that because he doesn't believe that there's any outer space. So obviously there can't be any aliens here.
Hey, listen, I got to get my cortisone shot, so I got to run.
All right, Greg.
I got a 2 o'clock appointment. All right, guys, I love you. Jimmy,
Love you.
I love you.
Go take a testosterone shot too while you're at it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I love you, bro.
I
Have
love
a
you,
good
man.
one.
All right.
Love you too, man.
Greg.
All right, go ahead, Jimmy. Tell the story.
Yeah, listen, politics is one thing. You know, people get touchy with politics. I really don't want to get it. I am upset about my Marine brothers getting killed over there. That I am. So I'm upset about that.
We're not talking politics, so talk about something fun.
We're not talking right. That's why I just said that. So I want to talk about the tides and see if John maybe can you guys could touch on this. So that last weekend was that tropical storm we had, and it was a full moon. Okay, and I went down to Huntington Bay, and I was looking at the water, and it was low tide. So I was saying to myself, oh boy, I thought the moon, you know, when it's you know here the tides are high. That's what they always say, right? The moon pulls the tides around, but it was low tide. So how did that work? And the other thing is, how does the moon even really, you know, make water move around? Like it's caught in the Earth's gravity, the moon. So it's, you know, it's influenced by our gravity. The moon swings around the Earth supposedly, right? So how the fuck could it influence water? And how come it don't influence the lakes? How come it don't touch lakes? Only the ocean. So there's huge lakes out there, but they don't get touched with
they have tides.
the moon's gravity.
They have tides.
No, yeah, but it's different than the ocean tides. It's all different.
They're smaller,
So-
Jimmy.
What was that?
Because they're smaller.
I knew you were going to say that.
You can't
I knew
compare
you were
Lake Superior to the Pacific Ocean. You can't do that.
You got the Five Finger Lakes up there and all. They got huge lakes up there, man. It's just
They're not
tremendous
as big
lakes
as
up
the
there.
freaking ocean. Come on.
They don't get affected by the moon. It's all
Yes,
bullshit.
they do.
Yep.
Lake
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
So let me finish. So now, you know, in the daytime, I seen the moon up. Because I do this all the time, all right? The moon is up at the one end of the sky, and the sun is up over there, the west, and the moon is up on the east. But yet I only see like a half a moon. How could that be? If the sun is up and the moon is up, and it should be a full moon, because that moon is like a fucking tennis ball up there, and the light is hitting it. So it should
Only
be
if the
full.
Earth was, that would be true only if the Earth was flat.
Oh, so you're telling me that the Earth's shadow puts a shadow on the moon?
Yes.
No, that's what everybody thinks. That's totally wrong.
No, it's not
that
wrong.
just-
If the sun is
yes,
if the sun is behind the Earth,
Yeah.
and the moon is over here, and the Earth is in the
John,
middle.
I'm saying that the sun is up. The sun is up. It's up over. It's up in the air. It's not behind. All right. It's not like it's setted
Jimmy,
and
the
the moon
sun
is, you know.
Jimmy,
So how the hell?
Jimmy,
So with that
Jimmy,
theory, how does
Jimmy.
the moon go? How does the moon go behind the Earth when it sets
sun
and the
is-
moon is full? How the fuck does that happen?
the sun is not up. The sun is in the same fucking place it's always been. The sun is up. The sun is up all the
Oh,
time.
you know what I'm saying? The sun is
No, it's
above the
Earth.
horizon.
It's not
It's above the.
the sun ain't moving. It's the Earth that's turning that gives you that puts the sun in a different spot, and the moon goes around the Earth, and the Earth and the Earth and the moon are going around the sun. That's how. This is like
This is rudimentary Newtonian planetary movements.
Listen,
I don't even know where
I watched Space
he's like-
Cowboys last night, right?
You're wrong on so many places. I don't even
No,
know.
I'm not.
I don't even know
No,
where to start.
I'm not wrong.
It's
You know
like-
what it is?
I don't even
John,
know where to start.
You're so fucking indoctrinated, you can't help your mind.
you
is
believe in
trapped
aliens, Jimmy?
Like in a fucking walnut shell. That's what the fuck your
Jimmy,
problem is, all right?
Jimmy, do you believe in UFOs?
No, I don't believe in UFOs.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
No. So I watched that movie Space Cowboys last night. All right, because I just stumbled upon it and I said, let me watch this because for shits and giggles, I wanted to see space and rockets and all this other shit, right? Because I laughed during the whole fucking movie, all right? The propulsion and the guy who's Clint Eastwood was floating around with a little fucking suit and he was like spitting air out of the right side. He's turning, the air spits over here, psst, and then you see him turn that way and psst, that way, like how does he doing that in a non-atmospheric environment? That's what I want. Now, the guy's in a fucking vacuum. How the hell is he fucking pissing over here and he's turning all over the place? And they're turning the whole space
That's
satellite.
exactly why. The fact that he's in the vacuum is exactly why.
Yeah, but so if he's in the vacuum, how does the fucking pressure, that little
Oh my
psst, the
God.
fucking thing, how does that work in a vacuum, John? How?
In a tank, knucklehead. It's in a fucking tank in his suit.
Yeah.
And because he's in the vacuum,
It's in a tank, right?
You need very little energy to change direction in a vacuum. There's no.
No, because there's no
You
atmosphere.
can use
There's
a
nothing.
cell phone to
It's
redirect
a
you.
vacuum, huh?
You can use a cell phone battery to move you in a vacuum because there's no resistance, Jimmy.
Right. Exactly.
A cell phone.
I
What the fuck
give
you
up.
talking about?
Let him say whatever he wants. I give up.
I can't believe it, man. You guys are like, you know, you got to like think outside a little bit, man. You can't just, you know, what these people tell you. You got to think outside. They can't just believe everything they fucking tell you. Look at the fucking what's going on today. You can't believe shit. I don't believe the Earth's round. I believe it's a plane. It's enclosed, and that's the end of the story. There's no space. You can't propel. You know, you can't go out and, you know, a rocket blasting through the atmosphere. All of a sudden, you're in space. They never put a camera on the fucking nose of the fucking rocket. It's always on the back of the rocket. They show you the flames going like this, you know, and the guys are in the seat and shit. It's fucking a show. It's a fucking show. So is the International Space Station. Did you ever watch videos on the International Space Station, John? Where the guy's fucking running around in a monkey suit? So we're spending billions of dollars a year for these assholes to be up in the space station. Okay? What science they're doing, I have no idea. Did you tell me one fucking thing that they did that's going to benefit mankind up there for fucking years in that space station? Name one fucking thing besides them fucking making a show and fooling everybody. What's one thing they did?
They're trying to learn how to live in zero G. So if we have to go to Mars,
oh, like we need to do that.
Well, if you want to go to Mars, if you want to go to Mars, you got to learn how to do it.
So they can pass that along to us. Thank God, I can live in zero G now because these assholes are up there for a fucking year floating around and pissing in a fucking tube and shitting. Come on.
How are we
also
gonna
grow food? They learning how to grow food in an environment.
Oh, that's
like that.
very important, George. We need to know how to grow food in zero gravity because that's what we do every day. I get up and I go in my garden. I gotta make a zero gravity in my yard somehow, and I gotta plant my fucking my shit, my fruit, my vegetables because I want to grow it in fucking zero gravity. What the fuck would I want to grow vegetables and shit like that in zero gravity? What do I want to do that for?
Learn how to grow food underwater.
So, Jimmy, let me ask you a question.
Underwater, I want to learn how to, because I want to fucking go underwater. I want to live there like Aquaman, and I want to fucking grow vegetables and shit underwater.
Yeah.
Jimmy, when a meteor hits the Earth, where do you think it's coming from?
Shit. Oh, what meteorite, Dave? Where's the meteorite?
Meteors hit the Earth all the time.
Where? You got one in your home in your living room?
I don't,
Actually,
but they have them in the Smithsonian Institute.
There's a big, huge hole with a meteor sitting in it. You can go look right at it. You drive
I've been there. I actually been. That don't mean shit. That doesn't mean nothing.
Where'd that come from?
It didn't come from no rock in outer space. That's for damn sure. I'll tell you that right now. Unless you can fucking prove it to me.
What are all those lights at night?
So the fact that rock is made out of stuff that's not found on Earth doesn't mean anything to you.
That's a bunch of horseshit, John. That's not proven. That's all bullshit.
Of course it is. It's everything.
No, it's not. Come on.
Everything that is everything that goes against your narrative is bullshit. Everything.
Listen to me. If we actually landed on the moon, don't you think that the Hilton Hotel would have a fucking place up there right now? So you could go up there with your shuttle if you was a millionaire, if you were Elon Musk, and you could go have fucking lunch at the Hilton looking at the Earth spinning in front of you in all its glory.
That's why they got the food up there that we're on.
Yeah, that's why they got to grow food in zero G, Jimmy.
Oh, well, that's why they got to learn how to grow food in the space station. So when Hilton builds their hotel, they know how to do it up there. Is that what you're saying?
You got to learn how to exercise too, how to maintain your muscle mass because there's no gravity. As a result, what happens?
And how does that benefit us, George?
Because
your grandkids it'll benefit.
Not directly, immediately.
How does that benefit me?
Because your daughter, when she has kids, those kids will be up going to Mars on a trip to Mars, and they got to figure out how to live for 18 months
really?
in zero gravity.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is what they do to you guys. See, you guys are fucking like indoctrinated robots, and you can't budge out of your fucking thought pattern because you're so indoctrinated. Your pituitary gland in the back of your head is probably like a rock because you have no kind of perception of any kind of spiritual nothing beyond.
John, you know what this is,
If you
John?
can't feel it, if you can't feel it, you can't. Huh?
This is what Columbus had to deal with when he went to try to get money to go to the New World.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just glad he just finally explained to me what the pituitary gland does. I was very confused about that.
Well, now you know, brother.
I was wondering why I had
the
no
Egyptians
GA.
knew about it. the Egyptians knew about the pituitary gland, right? They knew about it.
Yeah.
Why?
I
put
thought
it
you
in
told
jar.
me. Did you tell me you had a theory a couple of years ago that the Egyptians came from out of space, Jimmy?
No.
You changed your mind.
Yeah.
No, I never changed my mind.
Yes.
I said that the Egyptians paid homage to the Nephilim. So when you go see, there's parts of the pyramids where you're not allowed to go see the hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that or not. They're off limits.
Because
to the public.
people read hieroglyphics so well. Yeah. Nowadays.
Well, there's self-explanatory pictures. Okay, so you're gonna tell me that the Egyptians built those pyramids, okay, to precision. It's out like a 16th of an inch on each side of that fucking thing. It's perfect fucking pyramid.
Right.
The rocks are enormous. Who the hell knows how they even carried or dragged or whatever the hell they did? Nobody knows how they did that, right?
Right.
But if you go into and read the hieroglyphics, you'll see a giant guy with a bird head sitting in a chair, and you'll see all these little Egyptians bringing fruit baskets to him. So you're telling me that guy wasn't that big?
Jimmy, see this?
The Egyptians fucked up?
See this?
Yeah, well, it looks like a piece of pita bread.
Piece of it. It's a piece of the Great Pyramid. I brought it home.
Well, that's good. I'm glad, John. I'm glad you did that.
Now, what does that mean?
That means that you went to the pyramids, you brought a piece of stone.
Now,
That's good.
Now, as the only one
That
of us.
doesn't tell me you
other than-
carried it on your back and it was fucking 500
Now,
tons.
as the only
If you
one of
had
us-
one of those stones in your living room, I'd be
Now-
fucking impressed, okay?
As the only one of us, other than probably Dave, who's actually been to Egypt and seen the pyramids.
I've never been there.
I know that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add to your query. Okay,
Uh-huh.
it would have by the number of forget all the perfect alignment and the angles and the four sides
Right.
and all that. Oh, forget all.
Actually,
of that.
there's more than 4 sides over there.
There-
I actually discovered.
It's 8-sided. It's the pyramid.
That's
so
right. I'm glad you cleared that up.
I'm glad you did. So now, if they placed, they said the pyramid was built in 25 years, right? So if they placed one stone, mined it, carried it, put it in place, and set
Right.
it,
Yeah.
they would have had to have, and they weighed 20 tons up to 200 tons each.
Right.
They would have had to have placed one stone. If they worked 24 hours a day for 25 years, they
Right.
would have to have placed one stone every 2 minutes.
Right.
So how did they do that?
Well, that's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that the Egyptians didn't build the pyramids.
Who did?
The Nephilim.
I
The
don't
Nephilim.
believe-
Where'd the
I don't-
Nephilim come
you know
from?
what? You know what? I believe Jimmy. They didn't build the pyramids, but
They did.
my theory is way more sensible than his. What it is we were an advanced society before a long time ago, before the new society. If you look at the amount of time man has been on Earth,
Are you going to start talking about the Atlantis now next?
no, I'm not. If we look at the time that man has
Well,
been on
Jimmy,
Earth,
I mean, John, I'd like to know who Jimmy thinks built the pyramid.
wait, I'm just set this up so he can go.
Okay.
He can destroy it. So
Why do I have to destroy it? Because I'm voicing my ideas and my opinions. I'm talking to my friends and I'm sharing my beliefs. But I'm destroying shit. I'm not destroying anything. If you go look at the hieroglyphics in Egypt on those walls, which I never did, I'm going to admit that. Okay, stop doing it, Dave. There is pictures of Nephilims carrying the stone between. They got sticks on
Who
their
are the
shoulders,
Nephilims?
right?
Who are the Nephilims?
And those are the fallen angels. And they got these giant poles.
Where did they come from?
And they're carrying the fucking stones, and the little Egyptian people are down here, and these guys are carrying these fucking great stones on their shoulders. Where'd that picture come from? Would they make that shit up in their imagination?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? They just decided to draw 2 monster guys carrying this gigantic fucking stone.
How does he get away with just brushing over the fallen angels? I mean, like, he lays one of those bombs and he just keeps going.
Well,
And
Dave asked me a question. I threw the answer out.
Right. Where did they come from?
Fallen angels.
Where did
So
they come
they're the offspring of the fallen angels, the Nephilim. That's what they are. If you can read your
And where did they
read
come
your,
from?
history.
Where are they now?
Well, if you ever read your scriptures, okay. Now what happens?
I feel like
is,
I'm talking
you know,
to Archie Bunker, by the way, John.
That's insane.
Archie always was quoting scriptures, the Bible,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's in the
Put on
Bible.
Archie's hat.
Go ahead. Did we lose?
I forgot what the fuck I was saying.
I I
the
said, where
Nephilim.
did the Nephilim come from? Where did the
So
angels come from?
if you listen, if you know the scriptures, I'm not saying I know from cover to cover, but I have read it a lot. And in the beginning, there was a war, and Lucifer and his angels were cast out of heaven, and they were cast to the earth.
Where's heaven, though? Because we live in a bubble right now.
Before that happened, though, they used to come down to the earth.
From where?
And they from heaven, wherever heaven
Where's
is.
heaven?
I don't know where heaven is.
Where's your heaven? I don't know.
It's somewhere above the firmament. That's what the Bible says. It's above the firmament. So they came down, and they actually were with women. They actually
hold on. Above above the bubble of the flat Earth is what? Space, right?
No, there's no space up there.
So what's up there?
Well, according to scriptures, that God sits above the firmament on his throne in all his glory.
Well, but there's other
and
people,
then it says,
listen, there's
in
angels
the end,
there. Where are they living? What is it called? Is it like a room?
There's many angels, legions of angels with him up
are
there.
They in a big room? Are they in a big room? What are they in?
Let's listen to the scientific dumb-ass fucking theory that space is expanding, okay? So here we are on the Earth, and the atmosphere somehow is a butt up against the fucking vacuum of space, okay? And beyond that, space is expanding, okay? So what the fuck is space expanding into, okay? Because what was before space? Nobody knows shit. Everybody's wiping their ass with fucking opinions. They don't know nothing, okay? The scriptures say that God sits above the firmament. They had a war because they were forbidden to be with women on the earth, and they were down here, and that's how all this shit happened. And then God cast them to the earth, and they're here today. And that's who's actually influencing the elite of this world, the people with all the power and money. And that's what's happening right now. And you think I'm crazy? Let me tell you something. If you're alive when the day comes, it says in the scriptures that the firmament is going to open up like a scroll. It's just going to roll back. So picture a snow globe, and all of a sudden that thing is just going to roll back.
Right.
And everyone's going to see God sitting in his glory on his throne. Everybody's going to shit in their pants.
Does God
and they're going to be running for the Bible says they're going to be running for the mountains. They're going to be asking the mountains to fall on them.
Can I ask you a question? Does God have a beard? Is he an old dude with a beard?
I don't know. He might have a fucking tall, skinny hat with stars and moons on it, too. I don't know. I don't know what God is. I don't claim to know what God is, but there is a description of him in Revelations, and it ain't human. It's if you have to read it, okay. I don't know what it is. Nobody knows what God is. It's creative. Can you knock on a fish tank? And you have a fish, Dave.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Can you knock on the fish tank and tell the fish that they're swimming in the fish tank? No, you can't. If they were intelligent and you were knocking on the tank,
but the fish can see me knocking on the tank
because the tank they're in their world. Those fish, and it's the same with us. We are in this matrix. Made world for us, created world.
Right, but the fish are not sending rockets out out of the fish tank. That's the only difference.
But sometimes they jump out.
Sometimes they jump out, though. Yeah.
And that might be a line fun.
Those rockets go nowhere, Dave. They don't go anywhere. They send them up, and they just fly to them. They make a hook. And they disappear, and everybody's cheering, yeah, and everything else is a fucking TV act.
Let's assume you're right. Why would they bother to have all these space stations and trips to Mars and sending probes to Saturn and Jupiter?
Listen,
why bother?
Walt Disney was in with those people, too.
Why bother?
You ever see his I'm going to tell
Jimmy,
you.
What's the reason?
I'm going to tell you. So you ever see Walt Disney's castle, and the girl with the wand and all that? Yeah. And what does she do at the end of the the 2-minute commercial there? She goes like that with the wand, and then there's a half a circle over the building, right? Because even Walt Disney knew that there's a covering. So did Werner von Braun. You can look him up too. He was the head of NASA when we took over Germany, when we took the Germans.
He made the rocket. He made the rocket that went to the moon, by the way. Yeah.
No, he didn't. Let me tell you something. He made rockets, and he was the head of the rocket program. But he knew that you couldn't get out of here because he has scripture. That guy was a Nazi SS, and he has scripture on his stone about God's handiwork in the heavens because he knows you can't get out of here.
Well, then why do you make a rocket? Why do you make a rocket to go into space then?
Because they told him to, and he was getting paid big money, and he got his freedom. And wouldn't you? If you were a Nazi and you were killing motherfuckers, and all of a sudden they knocked on your door and said, "Listen, we're going to forgive all your fucking sins. We're going to give you a cushy job in NASA. Make rockets. We know they don't go anywhere. Just fucking make them anywhere, and let's blast them the fuck off to keep people thinking that there's space out there, just like the Jensen cartoons and all this shit they do out there, just to fucking make you think there's space." That's what they want. That's why they blew. That's when Elon Musk he launched his fucking that that car with the Tesla.
Yeah.
Remember he launched it, and then they actually showed it when the capsule was supposedly opened, and there was the car with the guy sitting in it, and he was flying by the Earth this way and that way and this way, and even Elon Musk said it's so real it looks fake, right? Because it was fake. It was horse shit. With no fucking dummy sitting in a Tesla on a fucking, and then he said he was going to, once it passes the moon, they're going to lose communication with the thing. Really? Well, how the hell is fucking the rover taking pictures from Mars? Okay, when Tesla's fucking little Elon Musk rocket passed the moon, they lost communication with the fucking thing. How's that happen? I want to know. I really want to know. Shit, somebody in my trailer?
You know what?
And how come there's no parallax? You know what parallax is, John? You're very intelligent. What is parallax?
I don't even want to give my definition.
Well, what is it?
Parallax?
It's not a test. I'm just asking you. I'm not trying to bust your balls or tell you.
Like a parallax? You mean like a parallax view?
Yeah, right.
Go ahead, tell us.
No, I asked you.
I don't know, Jimmy.
Okay, so parallax is when an object is closer and objects are farther, right? So let's take this little shovel here, okay? So if you walked by this shovel, okay, you would see the shovel, and then you would see the background, moving, right? Because the shovel's closer, so naturally the background's going to move, right? Just like if you're driving a car and you pass a telephone pole, the background kind of stays the same, but the telephone pole looks like it's moving because you passed it, right? Yeah. So how come the moon don't have parallax with the stars? That's what I want to know. So when you look at the night sky, you should see the moon, because you said it orbits around the Earth, you should see the moon passing the stars. So we should be sitting in the backyard, me and you together, smoking a joint, and saying, wow, look at that. And we're seeing the moon actually just drifting by, and the stars are still in the background. That's parallax. We don't have that. What we have is the moon and the fucking stars drifting together, all like one giant sheet.
That's not what happens.
That's what we see. You should see that. The moon is only 230.
Tyler,
the moon is
Don't even try.
The moon is 238,000 miles from the Earth, supposedly, okay? So that means it's very close to the Earth. So if it passes us in the night sky, it should pass the stars too, because the stars are quadrillion, billion fucking light years away, they say, right? So you should see that. We should have that. We don't have that. And another thing, John, how come when the daytime, when the moon is up, the craters are blue? But then at night, when the moon is out, the craters are black. How does that happen? And don't tell me reflection is shit. And if I want to fucking hear my reflection, how the fuck are those craters blue? And then at night, the craters are black in the same sky, huh?
How the fuck is it every time I go to Carvel, they're adding those little chocolate on the vanilla. They always got the vanilla, but they don't got the chocolate.
Listen to me.
They got the chocolate pieces, they don't got vanilla. How the fuck does that happen?
I gotta ask you a question. So, in the scripture, Christ said when he was preaching, he said that he threw the seeds out at his knowledge, to people. And some seeds would fall on rock. Some seeds would fall on dry dirt. And then some other seeds would fall in good soil and take. So you're probably the rock or the dry dirt. So that's what happens that's the same explanation. When I explain things to somebody, some people don't want to hear it. Some people just goes in one ear and out the other, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. But some people get an interest in it, and I talk to them, and they actually have interest in it, and they want to hear more. And I can have like an hour conversation with a person like that. I happened to meet the other night when I was in the Madrian, the Chinese restaurant. I was sitting with the accountant. I had no idea this guy was into anything. And we just started talking, and all of a sudden, bam, he started knowing about all this stuff. We were talking together. It was a great stimulating conversation, because it wasn't talking about pussy or that chick's ass down by the lobster tank, or or that hot Chinese girl that was fucking just serving me some sake. No, it wasn't. It was a really mind-stimulating conversation. It shakes the foundations of what you're taught, and that's what I like about it. I'm not trying to convert anybody, and I'm not saying I'm an expert, but to me, it stimulates the mind, and I love having these conversations, because if you really think about it, we really don't know anything. And these people, and I'm going back to Dave's question, is why are they going to fake all that shit? I'm going to tell you why they're going to fake all that shit. Because they don't want you to know that you live in a creation, and it's flat, and it's got a covering. And the people who run this world want you to believe that you came from some fucking monkey from a fucking 90-million-year-old mud puddle, and you crawled up on the dirt, and all of a sudden you had legs, and all of a sudden now you're you were an ape, and all of a sudden now you're a man, and now we're a thinking, conscious, making decision people, smart out of a fucking mud hole from 90 million years ago. They want you to believe that we're fucking on a ball spinning around in fucking space in the middle of fucking nowhere. You don't know what's up and down. It's fucking crazy. You could be in Australia, you still feel like you're standing up. You know, it's ridiculous. You could fly a plane down the side of the globe, but somehow you don't know you're fucking flying down the side of the fucking globe because you're fucked up with gravity. So you're in your fucking plane seat there, just thinking you're humdinging along the flat ground. Meanwhile, you're going over the fucking ball, and you're fucking in Australia underneath the fucking ball, and somehow you don't know you're like this in the fucking plane because your brain is fucking warped. All right? You're warped. You're warped through the declination.
Dave,
they want to hide God from us. You understand? Because if we all knew this place was flat and closed and God created it, they'd have no fucking power over us. None.
Dave, is it any wonder that the guy sat there and fucking agreed with him for an hour?
Sit up done.
I mean, he's dangerous, and you're going to disagree with him?
I'm actually sweating.
Jimmy, fucking anybody would agree with you. You can talk about
my fucking neighbor's looking out the window. I'm sorry. Take some fight with somebody.
They're agreeing with you too. Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna move that truck in a minute.
The dangerous thing, John,
I'm only home for a couple of minutes.
Jimmy actually is very intelligent, so he can make logical arguments and actually make it sound like, well, maybe he's got a point here, but I just don't. I'm not buying it, Jim. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It is a little bit frustrating because we do know him to be a smart guy, and when he goes off like this, it's like when people ask you, Jimmy the Bull, you gotta go, no, not really, not that well. I don't really know that well.
You're funny, Johnny. So this is what I'm gonna do. Like Jesus would have done. I'm going to work on Dave because I believe that Dave's receptors are a little open to this. So I'm going to keep working on him. You and George, I think you guys are done. So you'll probably walk into the fucking.
You lost me, Jimmy. I got to be honest with you. You lost me at the ice wall. That's where you
Tyler,
lost me.
I don't know about Tyler because I never really talked to Tyler.
I think you lost us at the ice wall, Jimmy. Everything sounded great until the ice wall.
What happened?
Everything sounded great about your theory until you got to the ice wall that surrounds us. That's when you lost me.
Okay, well, let's just think about that for a minute.
But Dave,
why doesn't that make any kind of sense? Did you ever hear of Operation High Jump?
So what's going to happen? This is what he's thinking. He's going to convert you.
Yeah.
All right? He's going to, because you're the ringleader.
I'm going to get Tyler,
and then if he converts you, the rest of us will fall like dominoes.
Yeah.
I'm coming for Tyler too, John. Oh, so let's think about the ice wall for a minute. Why doesn't it make any sense to you? Did you ever hear of Operation High Jump?
No.
Did you ever hear of Admiral Byrd?
I know Admiral Byrd, yeah.
You do? Personally?
Yeah. No, not personally. I know what he did, yeah.
I trained his wife.
Well, that's impossible. He died.
You told me the story about Byrd already. I don't believe about the ice wall. Why can't we fly over the ice wall?
Why can't you?
Well, I'm asking you. You told me that
you can't fly over something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's why.
Where's the ice wall?
Wait a minute. Back up, John. The ice wall doesn't exist?
No. Show me a picture of it.
Go look at National Geographic. You ever see the fucking ice wall? The fucking shit's falling down and saying that the glaciers.
That's called the glaciers.
And the fucking penguins are swimming all around. And the fucking walruses
and
the fucking seals on the fucking. You can't tell. You never saw ice walls?
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
No, are you fucking kidding me? You never saw a fucking ice wall?
Oh my
I've never seen an ice wall we can't fly over.
Oh my God. This is embarrassing. This is bad.
How is it embarrassing, John? Ice walls exist. It's on National Geographic.
Are you referring to the glaciers?
And you know how we know about that? Because we took pictures flying over them.
No. I'm sorry. No. There's 50 countries signed a treaty after Admiral Byrd did his thing. 50 countries signed a treaty that there is be no explanations at all up over that wall.
You're gonna
Zero, none.
What wall are you talking about?
Wait,
matter of fact,
wait a minute.
You just look it up.
You looked it up. 50 fucking countries agreed to the fucking ice wall.
50.
Go ahead.
50.
Prove that. Prove it.
How about Operation Dominic? How about this, John?
You want me?
How about,
I'm going to fact check you right now.
Hold on. Yeah, fucking facts. How about that? How about this here? How about when before the Operation Dominic? Okay, so they were doing high altitude explosions back in the 50s, early 50s, right? 4 years, Russia and America were sending rockets up and exploding them up in the air in high altitude. Why were they doing that, John?
They were testing
You
to
don't
see
know.
if nuclear
I know you
weapons
don't know.
work.
You don't know because you know why? Because your brain, that fucking hat is too tight on your skull. You better take it off. So here's what happened. This is what happened. Okay, so they bombed the atmosphere, high altitude explosions for 4 years, Russia and America, and then they stopped. 4 years. 4 years they did it, and then all of a sudden after that, guess what? They opened up NASA right after that. Because you know why, John? They knew there was a firmament up there, and they were trying to blow a fucking hole in it for 4 years. Operation Dominic, look it up yourself. Once they realized they couldn't do anything to it, they created NASA, and they made the whole space program and the rockets and the astronaut. Some fucking jerk off floating around in space with a fucking inflated suit in a vacuum. Excuse me, you might wear a pressurized suit in the depths of the ocean, but you ain't gonna wear a pressurized suit in a fucking vacuum because you'll implode like someone stepped on a grape. That's why you won't wear a pressurized suit in a vacuum. But you'll wear it in the fucking when you dive in the fucking motherfucking ocean. When you dive down in the ocean, you're gonna wear a pressurized suit because you're gonna get crushed like a fucking grape. That's why. Fuck out of here, you fucking bullshit.
Can I go eat yet?
Yeah.
This is why everyone agrees with him.
I'll tell you what, next week, go do your fucking homework and get back to me next Tuesday. All right, look up fucking Project Dominic. Look up fucking Admiral Byrd. Look up Operation High Jump. Go study all that shit. Go the 50 countries that signed the treaty that no one's allowed to do any explorations up there because they can't, because it's just endless ice and snow. Who the fuck knows what's up there, up over that wall? Nobody knows because nobody's allowed up there.
What?
Go do your research and fucking get back to me. Go ahead. Go ahead, go do your research. Go ahead, John.
Don't climb Mount Everest, John. Go climb the ice wall,
Get
please.
back to me, John. Go ahead. Get back to me. Give you a call next fucking Tuesday. Go ahead.
Can I go eat yet?
Yes, yeah.
Go ahead, motherfucker. Go ahead. Go. Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead.
Let us know in the comments below. Are you a flat earther or you believe that Jimmy's out of his freaking mind? Put it in the comments below. We'll read your comments next week on the show. For now, I'm Dave Palumbo with the entire Rack Band. Oh, by the way, if you want to get your Jumbo Palumbo light cookies or Jumbo Palumbo full strength cookies, head over to MrPottsProtein.net. George has got some great stuff over there. All right, I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time. Greg, we love you.
Bye, guys.
What's the smell?
I don't know. He's still throwing shit over there.
The Earth.
Are we off the air now?
Yeah, we're off.